Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into this um, document called Great Significance.
Right.
It's by Shawn Wondunna Foley, and it basically explores some pretty interesting concepts,
Okay.
like, like inherent worth.
Yeah.
Those like weird coincidences that always seem to happen.
Yeah,
What we
yeah.
call those synchronicity, and then also like just like seeing things more clearly, and then ultimately like a greater sense of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like the overview of what we're going to be talking about. And our goal here is like,
Yeah.
how do all these things connect?
Right.
And what does it actually mean? Like for you, the listener,
Right.
what can we take away from this?
Yeah, so right away this idea that like your significance, like you don't have to earn it.
Yeah.
It's like already there, and it says that directly. It says like one, and it's talking to you like you the listener, you already have like profound inherent worth.
Yeah. It's already there. It's built in. You don't have to do anything for it. It's just like a fundamental truth. And it's something that we often forget, you know?
Exactly.
We think we have to go out and like prove ourselves or, whatever.
Right. Get validation from other places,
Yeah.
but it's like no, it's already there.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too because it goes on to say that like your core intentions, like deep down,
Yeah.
they're inherently truthful.
Like you're being genuine.
Yeah.
It's coming from an authentic place.
Yeah, and like why do we sometimes doubt that,
Yeah.
Like why is that so hard to believe,
That's a great question.
you know?
That's a great question.
And that kind of leads us into this whole idea of like spiritual ascension and these synchronicities.
Yeah.
So the document talks about like elevating to a higher spiritual frequency. And when you do that, amazing things like start to happen automatically.
Oh, wow.
Just like these beautiful synchronicities, where like everything just kind of like falls into place.
So like what would be like an example of like what that would look like?
So it's kind of like, the right people show up at the right time. Like you're thinking about something, and then all of a sudden the opportunity like presents itself.
Wow.
And it's like, it's not random. It's like the universe is actually like affirming your path,
Yeah.
It's like guiding you towards your potential.
Interesting.
And it encourages you to like view these coincidences with like a more optimistic lens.
Okay. So as those coincidences like become more frequent and more apparent in your life,
Mm-hmm.
the document says that like your spiritual awareness also increases
Mm-hmm.
and you start to like see the truth clearly,
Yeah. Right.
So like you start to understand like the deeper meaning behind like the events in your life and the people that you meet.
Yeah, and this clarity, it's not about like having all the answers. It's more like just having a deeper intuition, an understanding of like the patterns and the connections in your life.
Yeah.
And this awareness, it unlocks like greater wisdom and insight into your journey.
Interesting. And where does that lead us to? Like, where are we going with all of this?
Well, it says, one's life will become free as one awakens to a new future.
Freedom. That sounds great.
Yeah, it does. And it's not about like escaping physical constraints,
Yeah.
It's more about like an internal shift.
Like breaking free from your own limitations or something.
Right, exactly, like aligning with your higher self.
Okay.
And embracing your spiritual path. And as you do that, all those limitations, those fears, the doubts, the uncertainty, they start to lose their grip on you.
Yeah.
And it envisions this life filled with joy, prosperity, and abundance.
That sounds amazing.
It does, right. And it's fueled by your inner purpose rather than all those external pressures.
Wow. So basically the document wraps up by encouraging us to like embrace this like great significance within.
Uh-huh.
And it suggests that as we grow spiritually,
Yeah.
we're actually participating in creating a life, not just for ourselves, but like on a larger scale.
And what I think is really interesting is it emphasizes like what one does matters.
Yeah.
So it's like this personal journey has like wider implications.
Yeah.
And it ends with this powerful call to action, be the change that one seeks to see in the world.
Wow. So we've taken a pretty deep dive here into this great significance document.
Yeah.
And I think like the key takeaway is that like all these things are interconnected, like recognizing your inherent worth, those synchronicities that start to pop up when you're aligned with yourself. And then that leads to greater insight
Right.
and ultimately, a greater sense of freedom.
And so for you, the listener, think about those moments in your life that felt like more than just chance,
Yeah.
How might embracing this idea of inherent significance like change how you interpret those moments
Yeah.
and what feels like the most resonant inner purpose for you right now?
What is calling to you?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, folks.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
See you.